big mechs, waifus with big assets that pilot said mechs, and terrible voice acting. Proper formula for a game of culture. That game is called Mecha, and it's free to play. It's an open alpha or open beta or something. I think they said it's open alpha. So there is a demo that you can play, and it seems like the demo is actually pretty expansive because you can do both PvE and co-op, which actually was kind of the reason why I wanted to pick up this game, is because of the co-op aspect of it. I did try one of the PvP games. In fact, kind of the things I'll dive into really quick is the way its tutorial set up. So it goes from the basic tutorial mission, just like any other kind of tutorial mission, kind of harken back to Armored Core 6 and how it kind of structured its tutorial mission. Then suddenly it jerks you and irks you and forces you into a PvP game, and as well as having you choose a different breaker. The breaker is actually what's referred to as the mechs. They're called breakers. You're immediately thrust into a PvP game. You have to pick a different mech, although I think you could choose the starter mech because you already have some experience in it. But the controls itself are pretty easy to pick up, and the gameplay actually is pretty smooth. I'm kind of surprised how smooth this game is, considering it's just a demo, it's open alpha or something like that. When it comes to choosing the different mecha, I kind of didn't like the idea that I was forced into a PvP game. Now, the one thing I can't really describe is my PvP type of games, like the type of games I like to play that are PvP focused. It's hard for me to describe when I look at a game that has PvP in it and then it automatically tells me this is probably not a game that I want to play as far as PvP goes, because when games like this, like Mecha or something like Destiny 2 or something, has PvP and PvE in it, I tend to lean more towards the co-op aspect of it rather than the PvP, because I don't like how PvP is usually structured in these types of games. I never really enjoyed Destiny 2's PvP or Destiny 1's PvP or Destiny's PvP in general. I never enjoyed it because I liked more of the co-op stuff. So all my builds, all my stats were all centered around PvE. I only ever did PvP when I had a specific challenge I wanted to do, and it was a challenge that had rewards that I would have liked. Then from there, I would go and do PvP. Okay, enough of that. Now here is a co-op match. As far as the queue times go, it's actually pretty quickly for both PvP and PvE. This only took me maybe 2 or 3 seconds, so basically just your standard everyday queue, so not too bad. Co-op is set to 3 players, and there's actually a variety with mechs to choose from, which actually kind of can alter your playstyle. So there's a mech for any type of playstyle, but you can also alter the weapons and such. So it's a fully customizable mech, which is actually really cool. You can customize the colors, the patterns, the accents, the trim, and all that. And then obviously on top of that, your weapons. It's also a looter shooter too, and as you'll see in this mission, I'll be picking up a whole bunch of different items and such, and then there's also going to be research blueprints. Find those blueprints, you'll be able to research more weapons, gives you some more choices to choose from. And here, what you're seeing is actually the loading screen. And this is actually pretty cool. Not very many games do this. I wish more games had these type of animated loading screens where it keeps you entertained for a time. Obviously it's better than looking at a still image.
Injecting toxin particles. Pilot sync rate stable. Mind bridge initiated. Eliminate the Vanguard forces.
You can see the pilot getting the mech ready for combat, and then right there it shows you the loading screen. When it's supposed to hit 100%, obviously that would then start the mission and you would start playing. But no, loading time took quite a bit of time to do. It left a lot to be desired because this was about 5 minutes or so after it hit 100%. It kind of gave me the impression that someone on our team, or maybe even it was me, disconnected from the session. But no, that's kind of how it is at the moment. Hopefully it's not like this in the final release, because I actually do kind of enjoy playing the game. It was fun, even though for my first co-op mission I was dealing with a lot, and you're gonna see it too. I was dealing with a lot of lag, a lot of stuttering. So for now, I'll just let you watch this gameplay. Just see for yourself if this is a game for you or not. But just remember, it is free to play. And then after that, I'll just kind of show you what I think is gonna be happening with the game, because you're gonna see a lot of mobile-ish like tactics after this battle. So stay tuned till then. Otherwise, just enjoy this battle. I also need to iterate that I don't play third-person games like this game or Dynasty Wars Origins or any of those types of fighting games on mouse and keyboard. It's very awkward and kind of for me on mouse and keyboard, so I usually play with controller. So this gameplay is actually me trying to get used to this game on mouse and keyboard. So once again, when you see stuttering and all that, that's actually not the recording, that is the gameplay. So every time you see the game stutter, freeze, or anything like that right now, that is the gameplay. That is not my recording. Just so that way you guys know what you're dealing with if you decided to download this game.
We're getting close to the enemy stronghold now, and it's your turn to take the lead. Remember to advance in stages, And watch out not to get surrounded. Moshrock is occupied by Thea's Vanguard at the moment. We need to wipe them out before we receive extraction orders.
Down. Take out the hostiles, then bring her back.
Mission points are awarded based on the number and type of enemies destroyed.
Now, since this is my first time dealing with the loot and all that in this game, you also picking up ammo too to replenish your supplies, which actually is pretty cool. Doesn't mean you have infinite ammo, so I kind of like the idea of being able to scavenge for loot. The one thing I was kind of having trouble with was whenever I picked up a weapon, I would accidentally switch out my loadout. So I originally had an autocannon that you can charge to make it more powerful per shot, as well as a melee weapon for my secondary. I accidentally swapped that out. I don't know when I swapped that out for another autocannon, like a shotgun type of thing. I was trying to figure out how to actually switch back to it. So again, there's kind of some stuff I was figuring out. Otherwise, it's not too bad. I just wish that there was some more clarification as to when you're picking up a weapon, are you automatically equipping that weapon, or can you actually store it so you don't have to use it and you can take it back to base and sell it or whatever. It looks like I don't know what I'm doing, and that's actually true because I didn't know I swapped out my weapons again. So I don't know what's in my secondary hand. It's like a jammer type thing. There is no description on how it works. Again, I don't like the idea that when you're in the middle of battle, and obviously this is my first game, I don't know what these weapons are doing. I don't know what their primary fire is, what their alternate fire is. Is it even a melee weapon, or what is it? What is it actually supposed to do? That's why I'm kind of that's why it looks like I'm lost right now. So again, that's kind of a thing that needs to be sorted out with the loot system.
Key and place the supplies you want to send back. This spot's pretty much cleared. On to the next stronghold.
Some neutralized enemy units may still have intact weapons you can use.
Another extractor. Mission points aside, we need to destroy it to prevent it from... need to think about how we can safely reach the evac point. Quick! Follow the GPS to the extraction point. We have 2 extraction points, A and B, set up. Our ride is almost here. You can check the extraction point's progress on the map. Once it's set up, an extraction beacon will be dropped. Pulse storm incoming. Make sure to keep an eye on its size on the map. A pulse storm is about to hit this area. Keep an eye on it on the map. It's dangerous to get swallowed up. It's growing. Stay alert.
Stabilizing. Fire from front.
Get the hell!
Unavailable now. Stabilizing. Fire from left. Unavailable now.
Heads up. New Corite pulse storm detected.
Fire from right. Stabilizing.
Heads up. New
Get
Corite
out
pulse
now!
storm detected.
It's eating away at your striker.
Fluid armor offline.
Heads up. New Corite pulse storm detected.
Energy low.
Others might have their eyes on this spot too. I'll use a recon beacon to make sure the area is clear.
Insufficient engine output.
Unidentified strikers inbound. Defeating them could net us some supplies. But should we engage without an analysis first?
Get the hell! Incoming Corite pulse storm. Steer clear.
Enemy down.
Steer clear. Get the hell!
Double kill.
Check out what I found. Here's some sweet loot. Consider it a keepsake for your first real mission.
Get close to extract once the extraction beacon is deployed. Extraction beacon in sight. Approach it and press the interact key to activate.
Extraction point A is ready.
Incoming Corite pulse.
Mission complete.
Now we get to the mission results, which is actually pretty thorough. As you can see, I did the worst out of the 3 because, well, obviously I kept switching weapons when I didn't want to, so I don't know what I was dealing with during the first half of this mission before I was able to actually finally figure out somewhat what was going on with my loadouts. Now, as you can see here, there's loot boxes or loot crates, whatever it is they're going to call them. I think that's where they're going to be monetizing this game at. And here you can see, this is my pilot, and a whole bunch of rewards, and as you can see on the right side, those are the specific rewards. Meet those challenges, you unlock that outfit. And then of course here is all the loot that I picked up, so obviously it's pretty standard. You know, you got your common, rare, epic, legendary, however they're going to be announcing these things. And then you get to the main menu. And you can see what I meant by how mobile looking it looks. You can see how the UI, it's very reminiscent of a mobile game. You got your challenges, you got your missions and such, all in the proper tabs. Here you can see the list of breakers. I don't go through every single one. I'm just looking at the ones I can unlock, because there are quite a few different mechs you can choose from. And of course, they all cost varying degrees too, so as you go up in tiers, they do get more expensive, and some will start costing you real currency. I think they call it Chronic or something. I don't know. It's their premium currency. Then you're going to use that on top of your research points to unlock some of the stronger mechs. I don't know if they're stronger, but they are way down there on the list. But here you can just see I'm just trying to look through which mechs I can unlock. I can only hope that the mechs are balanced around PvE and not PvP, because if they're balanced around PvP, this is going to turn more, it's going to quickly turn into a pay-to-play game, or pay-to-win game. I think we're done with pay-to-win. It should just be pay-to-play and just buy what you enjoy, basically. So hopefully, again, hopefully that these mechs are balanced around the co-op aspect of the game and not the PvP aspect. All right, and here are some of the premium loot boxes that you can get. And obviously there are a couple of regular ones that you'll get throughout missions and such, and completing daily challenges and the like. It's just a matter of figuring out what this stuff does. There's Matrix Credit. Matrix Credits is the standard, just the in-game credits that you can use. And then these chests here that we open as part of a whole bunch of maintenance issues that the game was having, they gave us a whole bunch. As you can see, that's the premium currency right there called Corite. I think I called it Chronic or something like that. But this is the premium currency. This is what you're going to use on top of your standard in-game currency to unlock some of the higher tier mechs, or some of the stronger mechs. I don't know if they're higher tier mechs or if they're stronger mechs or if they have better stats or something. Again, hopefully those mechs are balanced around PvE and not PvP. And here I'm just quickly showing you just the kind of randomness it is. It looks like these particular chests will just award you different values of Corite. Now we come down to the pilot, who is fully customizable. You can obviously pick between male and female. As you can see, the developers kind of knew what they were doing here. By default, the animation for the pilots, they're walking by default, so you actually have to, if you want to run, you gotta hold the shift key for that, otherwise you're walking around everywhere. I don't know what the purpose is for the exploration of the hangar. Doesn't look like there's much to do. There are no other players in this hangar. This looks to be a solo type of thing. There is like a daily challenge, I'm guessing, where you can just explore aspects of the hangar. I don't know what there is to do besides just looking at your pilot. For me personally, I don't care about the gooning aspect or being able to look at her backside all the time. I usually tend to pick female characters because they have better customization options. They have a lot more clothing and armor, and just overall better ways to kind of mesh everything together as opposed to men. I feel like male characters don't get a whole lot of cool looking armor. I think it's just easier for women to have more creative looking armor and clothing as opposed to males, because when you look at a lot of male characters in video games, a lot of times they have some very plain looking armor or plain looking clothes, not a whole lot to work with, whereas opposed to the females, they can get really creative with it. It doesn't even have to show skin or anything. It's just, I just like the idea that women have better fashion than men do, and I'm all about fashion. I prefer my character looks good before they actually perform well. Much like in Destiny or Star Trek Online or Baldur's Gate 3, my characters look really, really cool, but stat-wise, they're not the greatest. But they look cool, and that's what's important. All right, that about wraps up about what I think about this game. If you want to TLDR it, it's basically Armored Core 6 in a more arcadey style, and obviously much easier to learn. You don't have to worry about these intuitive controls that Armored Core 6 has. It's not Souls-like either, like Armored Core 6. Very arcadey, it's very easy to learn. Again, I was kind of struggling my first time around because I'm not used to playing third-person games on mouse and keyboard. That's always a controller type thing, but I figured just give this game a try on mouse and keyboard, and I think already at this point I'm used to it, so I'm not going to teach myself again on how to play on controller. So anyway, again, game is free to play. I think it's worth a download just because it has both co-op and PvP, so it has a little bit of everything for anyone. And of course, you know, it's a mech game. You can't really say no to a mech game. It kind of is difficult to make a horrible mech game, but not a great mech game, because I'm looking at Mobile Suit Gundam Operations, or whatever it's called, Battle Operations. I thought the controls in that game are incredibly difficult, and obviously there's a whole bunch of issues going on with it as far as, you know, tons of players cheating and such. So here I don't have to worry about players cheating because, again, there is a co-op portion of it, and I'm going to be focused more on the co-op stuff. I don't know how much longer the beta is going to be going on. I think the demo is going to be available up until the game's release, so you're always going to have time. Again, it's not a time demo, but I'm going to assume that they cap your character progression at a certain level. I'm going to assume maybe level 10, and I'm not too sure. I've seen some people asking on the forums if the characters that you create in the demo are going to transfer over to the full release. I'm hoping that's kind of the case, because I don't actually want to replay the tutorial, just because the way they have the tutorial set up, going from a PvE centric story type mission directly into a PvP mission, and then you have to relearn your mech at the same time. You're not gonna, it's not an enjoyable way to learn the game. I didn't really enjoy it either, because I had to learn the mech that I was using at the same time I was getting pounded by players, but I actually did pretty good in that game. I went 4-0, but anyway, that's all I have to say about this game, so I'm gonna go play some more. See ya. Bye.